It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
Castle to Wemby, rising deep three. Wee-wee! Victor Wembanyama, 6 feet behind the line, ties the game at 108. Castle between his legs. Castle, Wembanyama puts it in up top over Caruso.
And what'd you think when Vic pulled up?
Confidence through the roof. I was stunned a little bit, but once the ball went up, I'm like, oh, that's going in. This is kind of just who he is. I mean, he's one of a kind.
San Antonio Spurs in double overtime beat the Thunder 122-115. Victor Wembanyama, 41 points, 24 points, and a deep three-pointer.
41 points or 24 points?
41 points and 24 rebounds and a deep three-pointer to tie the game up and eventually force overtime. How about that Arizona State vocabulary? Which superlatives would you like to put on Victor Wembanyama's performance?
Well, my gosh, if you're 7'4" and you got guys who are 6'4" guarding you, you ought to be able to do it.
There you go.
What kind of defensive strategy was that? Caruso, Dort, what? Holmgren, Hartenstein? Jalen Williams is way shorter? I mean, everybody's shorter, but wouldn't you put your tallest people on them?
Normally you would.
Apparently not.
No.
I didn't understand that.
Especially when it didn't work. If you want to try something based on what you saw in the regular season and give it a look, but when he's crushing it in the middle of the game, maybe try something else?
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma City had a chance to steal one at home, and they didn't.
They did not steal one at home. Ha-ha.
San Antonio committing 21 turnovers, 11 by Castle.
Castle was just a machine. Cough it up one more time, big guy. That was not
a triple-double.
He did. That was not a perfect game by the Spurs. Clean up the 21 TOs because Oklahoma City was struggling to score against that half-court defense, but they got plenty of chances to get out and run off all those turnovers. I did think that when the Thunder started moving the ball either side to side or, throw it inside and then throw it back out, once they started moving the defense around, they started finding places to attack and score. But good grief, there was a lot of, it had to be driving you nuts. There was a lot of come down, shoot a three, come down one pass and shoot a three. Pretty easy to defend that.
Oh, yeah. The offense today is you do a little shake, a little shimmy, and that causes the defender on the three-pointer to lean that way, and then you pass it to him, and then he shoots it.
Yeah. And that did not work early in the game. Later in the game, I thought they shot the three well because they were moving the ball and they were getting a lot better shots. And Caruso had a great game, and Oklahoma City did not capitalize on that. You usually get a guy coming off the bench doing that, 31 points in 32 minutes, 8 of 14 from three. He had it going.
Yeah, they had a chance to steal one. They didn't get it.
Game 2 tomorrow night. Tonight, it's the Eastern Conference Finals. Cavs and Knicks play Game 1 in their series tonight, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Could Donovan Mitchell get to the NBA Finals? Bum, bum, bum. Coaches around the league, Pelicans hired Jamal Mosley, who had just been let go in Orlando after they lost in Game 7 in the first round. And our guy Joe Ingles is headed to Melbourne United. He'll play in Australia, signed a 2-year contract. He's 38 years old now, ends up playing over 800 games in 12 seasons with the Jazz, Magic, and Timberwolves.
And Bucks.
And the Bucks, yeah. Great run for Joe Ingles. And now off to his hometown, or at least home area, Melbourne. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
Well, Urban Meyer lost his $30 million grievance. He was in arbitration. Jacksonville, he thought, owed him more money, but Jacksonville said they fired him for cause, and they didn't have to pay him. And it turns out they won, so he didn't get his cash.
Rats.
NFL is expected to put the 2028 NFL Draft in Minneapolis. Next year will be in D.C. So if you like going to the draft, there you go.
I don't. Never been. Won't ever go.
I know some people went down to the Vegas draft, but yeah, I
Good
don't
for
really see
you.
going to Minnesota or D.C.
Glad
Seems
you
like
did.
a long trip.
I mean, you got friends everywhere. I don't.
The Arizona Cardinals open OTAs. You've got friends and family in Arizona. Open OTAs under new head coach Mike LaFleur. Without veteran quarterback Jacoby Brissett, who's holding out, wants a new deal. Scheduled to earn $4.8 million, only $1.5 guaranteed. Another $500,000 game bonuses. So there you go.
What leverage does he have? With him, they'll win 4 games. Without
Without
him,
him,
they'll win 3.
There it is.
And they drafted Carson back, going that direction. Nothing against old Jacoby.
But it's time to move on, and Arizona was awarded exactly 0 primetime games for the reasons you just said. 3 or 4 wins. America does not find them interesting. They'll have to go get some players and start building something. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has formally filed a lawsuit seeking an injunction to allow him to play this season for the Red Raiders. In the suit, he's asked for an expedited hearing, acknowledges he's currently ineligible, and of course he wants expedited hearing so he can go off to an NFL supplemental draft if he loses. So away we go. We'll see how that one plays out in the courts. Texas Tech coach Joey McGuire told ESPN yesterday sophomore quarterback Will Hammond is expected to be cleared for full participation during training camp in August. Could be ready to play by week 2 when they go to Oregon State. The Big 12 opener is week 3. They play Houston.
Yeah, that's why I don't think that it is that devastating. It's nothing that, speaking of the Sorsby issue, obviously, that the team can't recover from and be competitive. Now, we don't know that if they have Sorsby for every game, that they're going to win it. And we don't know if Hammond is to the point where it's a slam dunk win. But I don't think it doesn't alter my expectation for the program significantly.
They still have a good roster, and they can still have a good quarterback. I mean, for all we know, Sorsby could be declared eligible, and he could get hurt in Game 3, and Hammond could be the guy anyway. I mean, there's obviously less depth there if they do have a quarterback injury with Hammond. But
that's the big thing, yeah.
You're right. But to your point, he's pretty good. They got good talent around him. If he's healthy, they could have a great season and be back in the Big 12 title game. Certainly there's a path forward for him.
Right,
there.
you're not going Cam Rising to a first-year freshman.
Right. Pac-12 and Mountain West have reached an agreement in principle to resolve their legal battle. Mountain West has sought as much as $150 million in their lawsuit. Presumably some money's changing hands. We don't know terms yet. But we'll know in a while.
You let me know. I really want to know.
USC coach said he believes it's time for him and the Trojans to make a college football playoff run this fall as he enters his 5th season with the program. He's 35-18 in his 4 years at USC.
Now's the time?
Now's
5 years?
the time. I roll from USC fans
What a joke.
who believe that every year is the year.
I don't think you come out and say now is the time when you had the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, I know.
You're just making excuses.
Yes, he is. His best season. This isn't. You're not taking over Indiana and you got to build the thing up, and that only took 2 years. You're taking over a team that had. You brought in a really good quarterback to a team that was really good, and you went 11-1, and then you lost the last 2 to finish 11-3, and then you went backwards from there. I mean, you were already on the cusp, if you will. If they'd had this format then, they'd have been in. Even at 11-2 after losing to Utah, they'd have been in. So the thing's been going backwards under him. But now he says it's time they built it up. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Here's a fly ball, center field. It's hit well. Bolte is back near the wall. It's gone! Unbelievable! What a finish! Zach Neto says goodnight to the A's.
To center field, going back is Henry Bolte. At the track, leaping up, and a home run for Zach Neto. A 2-1 walk-off win on a home run. What a gut punch for the Athletics.
Athletics had the no-hitter going in the 9th inning. You hear the Angels get the single to break it up, and then the Zach Neto homer, and they win 2-1. 2 runs on 2 hits in the 9th. Great turnaround for them.
Yeah, that was nice of the no-hitter to end with no outs in the ninth, because then I went to bed. I didn't see the home run. I'll step for the no-hitter. But then once he didn't get the hit,
okay,
he just won of 162.
Yeah, what the heck.
And I'd watched a full evening of sports. Went and got a pastrami sandwich. Came home. My wife and I were going to split it. Start eating it. This doesn't taste all that good. She starts eating it. She goes, "Do you have any pastrami in your sandwich?" I look at, no. We ordered a pastrami sandwich, and there was literally no friggin' pastrami.
And you got a veggie.
Yeah, we had pickles,
some lettuce,
got a lot of
tomato.
sauerkraut, huh?
Yeah. So she went back.
Hey.
And came back a little later, and then I was watching baseball, basketball, and then baseball again. So once it got the hit, I went to bed.
More late inning drama, highly unusual. You said the Mets explode for, well, they got one in the 11th to take the lead and couldn't win it. The Nationals got one in the 11th. So they went to the 12th, and the Mets scored 10, and they made that stand up in a 16-7 12-inning win. Bizarre baseball there.
I think once you get 10, there was a lot of scoring yesterday.
Yeah.
Diamondbacks, I watched their game. They started off with a walk, a hit, an error, and a grand slam.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Hammered the Giants, 12-2.
Arenado hit one out. And then I watched your boys beat the Dodgers. I mean,
that was not a high-scoring game.
It was awesome. He walks the first two batters.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're talking about Miller in the ninth.
And throwing over their heads and all over the place. And so then he strikes out the next two and gets a grounder. So then the next three guys, man, I can't get comfortable. This guy's wild tonight. He's going to hit me in the head.
Walk, strikeout, grounder, save the game.
Yeah, that was shrewd by doing that.
And the Dodgers had a lot of chances. They had 2 on in the 6th, 2 on in the 8th, 2 on in the 9th, and couldn't get the big hit.
Well, that's where you look at the box score, LOB.
Padres got a home run in the first inning to win the game, 1-0. On a night, you're right, there were a lot of high-scoring games, that Angel win and the Padre win. It was different in Southern California, but across the country. Brewers won 9 of 11. They beat the Cubs 9-3.
Oh.
The Cubs' hot streak is over.
No, I mean...
They've now lost 7 out of 9.
With the curse of the Billy Goat. Wait, was that the Red Sox? I can't remember.
No,
the curse of the
Billy Goat was the Cubs.
That was
why'd they get the Cubs? Would they trade Ron Santo? Why'd they get the curse of the Billy
Ron
Goat?
Santo.
Generationally off there.
Your ability to pull names
Jim
is
Hickman?
awesome.
Who'd they?
Ron Santo was the man at that point, yes.
Who'd they trade? Well, why was the curse of the Billy Goat? What
The trade was in Boston. The Billy Goat was something about kicking somebody out of a tavern or something.
They sell the team? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Go listen to that rant by Pat Corrales, the manager.
Tavern owner William Cianis is who allegedly cursed them after being tossed from a game.
Yeah.
Former Padre, Pat Corrales. Great rant. Catcher of my youth.
Very dirty. A lot of swear words.
Dodgers have shut down Tyler Glasnow. Back spasms. Blake Snell's going to have the same surgery as Tariq Skubal to remove loose bodies in his elbow. And so with his new technology, instead of being out 2 to 4 months, maybe he's out half that.
What's the deal with this loose bodies? I mean, I went to ASU. I know all about that.
Ayo! Calcium deposits, bone chips. I don't know. They never say what is going on, but something's going on.
Is that like everything now with the elbow is like the high ankle sprain? It used to just be an ankle sprain.
Yeah.
Now it's loose bodies.
Well, the ankle sprain is when you twist it the other way, that gives you your high ankle sprain.
Right, but for years it was just an ankle sprain. Now it has to be a high. It's never a low. What are the odds? There's never been one player in every sport, any sport, who's ever had a low ankle sprain. It's crazy.
Salt Lake Bees over a 6-game series against Tacoma tonight at the ballpark at America First Square. First pitch set for 6:35. Coverage on the zone is 6:20. DJ and PK.
#golf.
NCAA regional action. BYU, ranked 24th, is in 4th place, 6 under in the Athens regional, while Utah struggled 16 over. They're in 11th place at Columbus. Top 5 in each regional advance. Utah chasing your Arizona State Sun Devils. I think they're like 7, 8 shots back, something like that. It's a ways. Got some work to do. DJ and PK.
#NHL.
Carrier feeds it ahead. Far side. Evans drives the middle. Shot. Scores! Game 7. Overtime winner. Alex Newhook has come through for Montreal, and the run stays alive.
Buffalo exists so the Buffalo sports fans can have their hearts broken. Montreal in Game 7 beats Buffalo 3-2 in overtime, knocks the Sabres out. The Canadiens on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Montreal was up 2-0, and Buffalo tied it up in the third, and it looked like they had the go-ahead goal with 10 minutes to go, and an inadvertent whistle, they blew it dead. They thought the goaltender had smothered it, but it leaked through the pads, and they scored, and it didn't matter.
Okay, you watched the game. We know.
I watched part of it. But that was heartbreaking to have the winning
You're
goal.
all things
Detail.
to all people. What's going on in the Champions League? Break it down right now. Ready, go. You know everything about sports. We get it.
Detail.
Do you really want me to go into it?
You really want me to go into it? Detail. Game-winning goal gets waved off. It's not really a detail. It's kind of the storyline. Montreal, Carolina, Eastern Conference Final will start Thursday night. What is trending is brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Coming up, Chris Anderson, owner and publisher of Ear Sports, will join us once again. He covers the West Virginia Mountaineers. What is Rich Rod doing with West Virginia? The spring football tour continues. And Bronson Kafusi, former BYU football star, promoting the Charity of Champions football event, will join us at 8:30. DJ and PK, the question of the day is next. Stay with us.
Welcome to This is Chase Scott and Ben Anderson.
I'd almost guarantee you Washington knows who they're going to pick. All that other stuff is just garbage. It always is. Sure. All that other stuff is, there's this person's number one this time. And this person. Washington today knows their guy.
The Jazz probably know who they would take it to right now.
Absolutely do.
I was talking to somebody and they said, yeah, the 27 and 28 draft stink. The 28 draft, that's 2 years away. They're like, yeah, it's a bad draft. Okay.
Right.
So they've known this draft is going to be good for a long time, which is why they traded for Jaren Jackson Jr., why they set this up for 4 years, because they knew that this was how long they had to rebuild and wanted to have a chance in the Wemby draft, the Cooper Flag draft, and this draft. It was a great section to rebuild. Why the Jazz did it at exactly this time. It's probably why they were comfortable trading Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert when they did, knowing that this is what was coming down the pipeline, but also knowing that you probably have to end in 2026 because the 2027 and 2028 drafts stink.
Catch Jake and Ben afternoons from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it is time for the question today. Hot takes or toast? We got trade rumors, PK.
Yeah.
There's rumors out there about the Milwaukee Bucks and the Detroit Pistons. They might be interested in Lauri Markkanen. And I bet there's more teams interested in Lauri Markkanen. But is there anything worth considering?
Yes.
Jeff goes the other way. No. If the Jazz are done tanking, you don't trade your best players. What if you get better players? What if you open up cap room for more players? What if you get a better player for your best player?
Then you're not very good.
Bum, bum, bum.
That's hard to get a better player for your best player. That would mean your best player isn't that good. And it's not really, you're not a serious contender.
Trade your 20th best player because the 10th best player in the league's available? I mean, with the Bucks, they're out there moving Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I'm not sure he's a better player at this point. Obviously, he was when he was winning MVPs and championships. Well, championship, singular. But he does not appear to be at his peak. And also, Lowry and the timeline, do they want somebody younger?
Well, what is Markkanen at his peak? Do we know?
That is an excellent point. We do not. Well, we'd like to think we don't know. Perhaps we do. Perhaps we have seen the peak already. But I think everybody is thinking there's better stuff out there. On a better team, he's more mature, he's older, he's experienced, and he'll play more games because he won't be tanking, and he'll have better players around him, and he'll really go.
All the above?
Yeah. Gary, Lowry for Giannis, Lowry for Cade Cunningham. Okay, settle down. The Pistons are not trading Cade Cunningham.
I'd make that trade.
See, for a better player, except he's not available.
But yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Ryan says, nice rumors, but Markkanen is not available for trade according to the Utah Jazz management.
I don't think they've come out and said that. They'll say, we like him and he's an important piece, but they won't say, we're going to trade him or we definitely won't trade him. Why would they say that?
If you can make the team better, why slam the door on that possibility?
Yeah. This is a great opportunity to find out who Markkanen really is.
Yes.
Because now there's no excuses.
Right. You're not tanking. You're not in an organization that's going sideways or backwards. You're not undervalued, underutilized by an organization that maybe doesn't fully appreciate your skill set.
You like to give Markkanen an excuse for not playing. And now those excuses are over.
They're over. We'll see if he can do it.
I mean, he never plays a full season.
He has never done it.
So now we get to see, how tough are you? Are you a soccer player when you fall down? We've got to bring out the stretcher. No offense, guys. I know that's your favorite. We are the soccer show, the only one. And can you tough it up? Can you play? Do I need to see you over there with your hair all curled up in street clothes?
You really don't like his hair.
I'm tired of that. Well, I'm
Shave it
tired of
up.
paying somebody close to $50 million. Wow, that's outrageous, DJ. I'm tired of watching a guy sit over there in street clothes with his hair nice and not playing. Isn't that, boy, that is really edgy. And he's getting close to $50 million. Yeah, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, but it's his hair all curled up. It's not, it's $50 million. He needs to play at least 70 games. It's his hair all curled up.
I'm tired of it. Do you not hear me? I'm tired of it. Yes, I am tired of it, of him smiling on the sidelines as they're getting their brains beat out and he's not playing. And I believe there's probably about 17,000 people in the stands who are right with me. Yes, I stand by it. If you're assigning me some thought, you don't need to, because I'll assign it to myself. Yeah, I'm sick of it. Who's with me? Say I. I've got an Ozzy Osbourne song. I. Everybody is. You're soft, so you want to make excuses for him. I'm done with it. I want to see him out there. Yeah, I stand by that. Ask me again, I'll tell you the same.
He peaked at 68 games in his rookie year. It's the most he's ever played.
Sure, because he was trying to get another contract. Wow, who knew?
Well, he's trying to get it in the second year when he only played 52.
How many games did they play?
In his second year, they played 82. Then you run into the 2 COVID years that were short. When he played, I think they played like 72 games, and he played 50 or 51 of those. So he's still missing 20 games, even when there's 10 fewer on the schedule.
I want to see him ball. Yeah, right. I'm tired of him sitting over there looking like $1 million bucks on the sideline. Look like a bum. Coming in some ragtag outfit. He just looks too nice. He's a good-looking man. And he's making $47 million.
Just play 70 or 75 games and get him into the top 6 in the West. Whatever.
Can he do that?
That's an excellent question.
I don't know. That's a whatever. Can he do that? That's what I'm saying. This is the season of discovery for Lauri Markkanen. And then we got to hear about him playing so well for the Finnish national team in the summer. I'm tired of it. I want him to be so gassed and they have a long run that he doesn't score 87 points against crap competition in the Finnish whatever league or whatever international thing they concoct each summer that I don't pay any attention to unless it's the Olympics.
One of the reasons to listen to all these and trade him now is the point we're discussing, I think, has to be discussed all around the league. And so the reason to take these deals now, or take one of these deals now, since you can't trade them multiple times, but the reason to take one of these deals now is if he is going to play 58 games guy and be sitting over there in street clothes when you really need him.
With his hair curled.
He's got more value now. He's got more value now than he does after he plays the 10th year in the NBA and doesn't again.
Yeah, but I don't know about that. I mean, the rest of the league, they're not going to know. We just know, but the rest of the league doesn't know? I don't buy it.
I think the rest of the league has the same questions right now that you and I are talking about now.
So his value is his value.
But if he's going to be, this is where it's on management to know and to be ahead of the curve on this, because if he plays 73 games and they're top 6 and he's 25 points a game, don't get caught up in one of these trades. But if he is 55 games and he can't make big shots in the fourth quarter when the playoffs are on the line and all that stuff,
he'll be fine. He's a player. He's a good player. But see, you want them to be soothsayers. You want them to be Sears.
Yes.
Well, I mean, every team, every situation. Go ahead. Why draft Cantner when you knew he was going to be a screw-up? Well, they didn't know. Why draft Exum when you knew he was going to be injured? They didn't know. I mean, that's the whole point. That's why it's not a science. It's what do they call it? It's
an art.
Yeah.
There's an art to it.
And nobody really knows for sure. So, yeah, you could say that about every single draft pick, every single kid.
The common logic of the era had Exum as one of the top 4, and the Jazz were drafting 5.
Well, the common knowledge was wrong.
It was, and Orlando
and they should have known.
And Orlando figured it out and did know.
They didn't.
They went with Aaron Gordon and passed on Exum.
He won nothing for them.
Right, and he left, but he is a good player. And he
Once
had a much
he got
better career.
with much better players, other than
and
that.
And also he got older and more experienced, yada, yada. But
he's okay.
Right, and Exum wasn't. He was clearly the better draft pick. And they figured it out.
Well, no, they figured it.
If they just go with the common logic,
stuff out. Sometimes you just get lucky. The Portland Trailblazers should have figured out that Greg Oden was injured and Kevin Durant was the best player. So Seattle figured it out? No. Kevin Durant was there. He fell to him. Orlando didn't figure anything out. They went with a guy. They knew Exum was going to be injured because in order for them to figure it out, they would have had to known, hey, this 18-year-old kid from Australia who didn't play college ball or any of that, he's going to be injured every time you turn around. They had no idea on that.
They properly figured out and went against the common logic. They did. The logic of the day.
They got fortunate. You're saying they knew Exum was going to be injured. Right, you have to. That's what you're saying.
Or they took the player who played, who didn't take a year off, or they took the player. I don't know the specific reason why they didn't take him. There were several reasons not to take him.
Because they didn't think he was good enough.
They didn't think he was good enough. They didn't think he was big enough. They wanted a bigger player. You can go on down the line. But they got it right. It would have been easy to default into missing on that, which the Jazz did.
And they won nothing with Aaron Gordon.
They did not.
I mean,
it's one decision,
he's a
and you
player.
You got to get 500 of them right. Yeah, but
at least
still
10. Yeah. He's a role player. I mean, let's not. If you're going to die on the hill, that Aaron Gordon.
But the other guy's a bust.
He is, obviously.
Well,
and
then they made the right pick.
If the Jazz knew,
the megastar wasn't available. They made the right pick.
I haven't looked at the draft. I'm not going to go back and look. Okay. I don't know who was taken afterwards, so I don't know if they made the right pick. If you're comparing those two.
Between those two.
Yeah, and the Jazz made the wrong pick. So they should have made the right pick. They should have, whoever was drafted 7th or 6th, they should have taken. He would be more than that. Yeah, and there's no way for the Jazz to know. If they would know, they'd be a perennial contender. No one knows. You do all your homework, and then you make the best decision in the moment, and then you go from there. I mean, you can go down the list. Did the Jazz... You often say, if they knew how good the statues were going to be, they would have traded their heart and soul to give them, but they didn't.
I got that line from Scott Layden.
Right.
That's
Scott Layden. That's a conclusive proof that you don't know. They have no way of knowing what Markkanen is going to do health-wise this year. All they can do is pretty much cross their fingers. But what they do know is he's going to light it up for the Finnish team in August and who gives a crap international competition that they have. That's what we know.
If you were the GM, would you move him now? Because you have strong suspicions. You have strong suspicions that when we sit here in 12 months, maybe 11, he will not have played 70 games.
I don't know that, man. I believe in the kid's talent. I think he's enormously talented.
That's why I said strong suspicions. You're right. You can't know it.
No, actually, I think he's going to nut up and play this year. I think that his body has got to be as rested as anybody's.
Right.
I mean,
because they keep sitting him down
outside
at the end
of the grueling August thing for the Finnish team. That's it. Yeah. No, this is going to be a fascinating story for him, and he has, and no one can question his enormous talent. To be able to move, to shoot, and to be that tall, and to do all those things. I want to see them, unless it's a killer deal, and everyone's available. Even Ace Bailey is available, even though they're not going to trade him for the rights to get DeBonsa. But he's still available if Shea Alexander says I want out for some reason.
If there were any chance that Detroit was actually going to move Cade Cunningham, a lot of players in the league become available.
Yeah.
But they're not going to.
Right. So what I want to see is this lineup. We've been anticipating it, but when we get to October, we will have been anticipating it for like 9 months.
Yeah.
And I want to see it. We had 2 games of Jackson and Markkanen.
Right.
And I've been watching Jackson for years. Saw him in college as a guy who had a Wooden Award vote, and he was a premier player. I think he was the 4th player in the draft. So I've been watching him. His father played in the NBA, blah, blah, blah. And I want to see these guys, man. I want to see what they can do. I want to see how George fits in. I want to see how Bailey fits in. This draft pick is going to be under the microscope and highly anticipated. I haven't been this excited about the start of a Jazz season in years. Years. I mean, you might say going back to the finals years if you wanted to make that argument. When they got back 2 years in a row, you might say, man, you were super excited then, right? And, they got to the finals, so it was a really good run and lost in 6 games, and so nothing to be ashamed about by any stretch. But the intrigue on what this team can become is fascinating. I mean, we knew that the other teams, the Boozer Williams thing, they were a little short. They didn't have the rim defender. And this last go-around, I was excited on that, but that was a little Charlie Brown and Lucy, man. How many times are they going to get the ball pulled away before I say, screw this?
Yeah, but there was a lot of excitement after Mitchell's rookie year.
I agree.
At that point, it's like
I agree.
They filled it in. That the 2 guys weren't irritating each other at that point that we knew of anyway.
Like you do with me, yeah.
See?
Right.
But see, that's on full display.
But I know. I tried to get you traded many times, and the next thing I know, you come over here full-time.
Future considerations.
Yeah, I want past considerations.
Yeah.
And so...
Came over here and ruined your TV career.
You did. You shattered it.
I know.
You ended it.
I did.
It's over.
Yeah, it might have been ended.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. I'm done. You'll never see my mug on television again.
It's over.
You cost me money, you butthead. Yes.
So you're going to break into the Giants win the pennant right there. It's over. The Giants win the pennant.
So, what a run. It was fun. I'm fine with it. I was excited for that, yeah. But I'm saying I've got it in the rearview mirror now, so it's easier to say, okay, burn me once. Shame on me. This, you know what I'm saying.
Fool me once, don't be fooled again.
I don't know which president said that, but it was a funny line. He didn't know how to finish it. So I've got the benefit of rear view. Here, I have no rear view. I got 2 games of rear view, and it's going to change because you're going to add a top pick into it, and I don't even remember who else played. Did the backcourt play and what was going on? But I know they only played 2 games, so I am super excited to see how this thing meshes, and then we can get a great evaluation of Will Hardy. He's another guy. I've been hearing how great he is, and they do nothing but lose. Not that it's his fault, and I'm with you. Markkanen sat a bunch of games that weren't his fault. I understand. But nevertheless, I got tired of watching him sit on the sidelines making $47 million a year smiling in street clothes. I don't apologize for that. And that's over. And that's great. And if he plays 50 games, I'll bash the crap out of him again next year.
See, your instincts for this are usually pretty good. And the number of times you've gone on this has made me wonder, is he just made of glass? Is something going to happen? Because the thing is, I believe, and I think most people believe, they sat him on purpose.
Sure.
Each of these last 4 seasons. And the first one here, it looked like he was going to get to 70, and it's 66, but they sat him a bunch. I'd have to go back and see how many games he got the old DMP at the end of the year. But if he does play, is something going to happen? Because in the previous years before he came to the Jazz, something did happen.
I don't know.
We never know. That's why we watch.
But the league knows it too,
Yep.
so it's not like you're going to get top value for him. It's no secret. The guy, is an enormously talented player, but he's been in the light on the GPs. Now you're playing to win. You're basically playing to win at all costs next season, right?
Mm-hmm.
and the fans, and they're going to tolerate it. No one's going to. Austin Ainge isn't going to tolerate it. No one's going to tolerate it anymore. I mean, we can be jovial and love these guys. They're our guys and blah, blah, blah. But it's about winning now. You're paying somebody. Jackson and Markkanen are getting over $100 million. You play
that is why,
to win.
And see, that's why I actually give these rumors more credence. And I don't know that they will pan out this offseason. I kind of think they won't, but they could, because they're not going to be able to keep these guys together very long.
I'm not worried about that.
Someone's got to go.
That's management's concern.
I know.
Let them worry about that.
But
I want to worry about winning and losing.
Somebody's got to go. And when do they go, and what do they get back for? And it doesn't have to be those two guys, but then how are you going to trade Kessler? How are you going to pay Kessler and
has to
Keontae?
go.
Because I think Kessler and Keontae and whoever else are about to add to the roster are going to end up wanting more money as they come out of their rookie deals, and they're going to be up against it. They're not going to have enough. Everybody isn't going to get what they want, and choices will be made. They don't have to be made right away, and I do think they want to see the group together.
Is Hatback short of cash here? Is he? Do we need a GoFundMe thing? I mean, the guy throws around money.
Yeah. And I
build
do think
this, build that, buy this, buy that.
He'll pay the luxury tax. He'll go into it, and we don't need to turn this into a collective bargaining thing. They did. They don't
have as much money as this guy.
But most teams, and there are other owners who have as much money as he does, and most teams don't go into the repeater tax and stay there. They'll go there briefly.
If they're trying to win.
Yep.
There's no point in doing it if you're not winning. You're wasting money, and it doesn't matter how much money you have. No one wants to waste money.
Right, and there's also rules on the kind of deals. If you still need to add talent, the kind of deals you can make and the ways to add talent get pretty limited.
But if you're winning, who cares?
Right, but if you haven't won it all and you need to add a piece to get there, that's when you care. You're right. If you have won it all and you're on top of the mountain, whatever. Let's stay on top of the mountain.
Well, let's see how it goes. I'm not going to assign them things. I don't know how good this team's going to be in 2 years. I don't know who they're going to draft.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to make declarations that somebody's got to go. And how do I know that? I just saw a thing that Dirk Nowitzki, he left like $50 million on the table, something, by staying there. Well, how do I know that these guys thinking, hey,
somebody won't do that?
Yeah. I mean, so I'm not going to – there's nothing definitive in the sports world 3 years from now. That's the beauty of it.
The only thing that's definitive is everything changes. And we just got a big old dose of that last night because there's been plenty of words written and spoken about how the Thunder are young and the Thunder are the champs and who's going to stop them. They're going to have a great run. They may not even repeat. I mean, they might repeat. They might win this series and win it all. It's a double overtime game. Anything can happen going forward.
But your best player was 7 of 23.
Yeah, and the Spurs' best player went off and had a phenomenal game. I don't think he's going to average 40 and 20 in this series. And obviously, he could have had an awesome game, and if he doesn't hit that one deep three, then they don't get it to OT and they lose right there. So anything could happen, but one of the things that could happen is Spurs could prevent the Thunder from repeating. So forget the long run the very next year.
Well, and the year after, the Thunder could win again.
Could come right back. Yeah. We've seen that before where you get a couple of players and they're in good organizations and they hand the title back and forth. LeBron was moving around, but LeBron and Steph just did that. I think they combined to win, I don't know what it was, 7 titles in 11 years.
I think the bottom line for me is I want to see this group develop. We finally got a group that's capable of winning, and add the rookie, and then go. And you're going to add some other pieces maybe this summer, but I'm talking about the core guys.
Right.
I want to see these core guys. What I want to see.
You got a 2-game tease.
Yeah,
and you still didn't have everybody because Keontae didn't play in those games.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. That was a Collier-Bailey backcourt.
I didn't think so.
He didn't,
but I wasn't sure.
Right.
So I want to see. I believe in this core. I believe this is a really good core. Now it's got to grow, and I want it to grow. I've seen so many teams change up and screw up when they change up. Now I want to see fastballs. I want to see this group because I'm excited about this group, and I can get way behind this group. And if it doesn't work, well, then we can go. But we've been waiting. I'm getting older here, man. I'm 72 years old.
You're not.
And I don't have much time left on Earth. On the air, I've already screwed up and destroyed my television career. I'll never be able to be on television again analyzing a playoff game like I did back in the glory days. That hurts my soul. Soul.
This is what's wrong with the media's credibility. You just stacked multiple lies on top of each other.
My soul.
You're not 72. You had multiple.
Working with you in dog years, I'm 72.
Multiple relatives into their 90s. And you may well end up on TV talking about playoff games.
You haven't seen me of late. You've been out a lot, but I now smoke.
That's what the Vegas showgirl said years ago, so I'm not surprised.
No, she said I was smoking.
That's exactly what you said. That's what you meant right then. You didn't mean Marlboros.
PK, take it off, baby.
I don't know. What? Give me another brand.
Camel.
Camels, yeah. Remember, we were talking Marlboros and Camels.
Chesterfield.
Now that feels like a movie out of the 50s.
I got a picture of my parents at my mother's senior prom. And
Smoking
both of them at the bottom of the picture have cigarettes.
DJ and PK. Coming up, top of the hour, Chris Anderson, owner and publisher of Ear Sports, covering the West Virginia Mountaineers. The spring football tour continues. Stay with us.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeCoux.
Morgan Scally, head coach at the University of Utah.
The hiring of Kevin McGivern, very, very innovative. When I've watched his teams, man, he loves to fling that thing around. Are you looking to open the offense a little bit?
I want to be explosive no matter where that comes from. If we're an explosive offense, but we're not physical, to me, that's the detriment to the entire team. You have to be physical, period, end of story, because a lack of physicality gets exposed at the highest levels. The priority, the premium is on physicality, and then explosive football, obviously explosive plays that can be from running the ball, from catching the ball. I think we have one of the best wide receiver groups we've had since I've been here. We want to get our playmakers the ball, but you have to play complementary football, and that's what Kevin's offense does.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Got a poll question up, PK. Is Donovan Mitchell going to the NBA Finals? Which team comes out of the East? Go on and vote. I just put it up. Knicks in 4 or 5 games. Knicks in 6 or 7. Cavs in 6 or 7. Or the Cavs in 4 or 5. I think it's a longer series. I would probably go Knicks in 6 or 7 myself. But it feels like anything can happen the same way I feel like anything can happen in the West. Not totally outrageous that one team would pull something off. I think it would have been outrageous if somebody had beaten Oklahoma City in the first 2 rounds.
Well, they swept them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think Cleveland is just as good as New York. And I think this is from a huge distance away. I mean, I'm not following it day to day, right? Because it's all about the West here and how it relates to the Jazz. And once they get good enough to be finals contender, then we'll worry more about the East. But I think Cleveland, they got off to the slow start. But what incentive was there to get off to a fast start? They did that last year, and it didn't work. And the marathon that is the regular season, it matters to a point, but not at a win-at-all-cost point, right? And so as I evaluate Cleveland, and Strus was out for almost the entire season. He didn't come back to like the 68th game. And he's a player, right? I mean, he's not a big-time player, but, he's a piece of the puzzle. And so with that in mind, I don't think that they were concerned about winning at all costs throughout the regular season. Now they are, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I think that Mitchell is really, really good. There's no doubt about it. But he's got help. And so he doesn't necessarily have to be brilliant every single game. He has to hit some big shots. And he did that in Game 5. He didn't have a great shooting game, but he still hit some big shots down the stretch. I remember him vividly. And with that in mind, they're an extremely dangerous team. Now, I'm not talking about playing the West. I'm talking about playing the Knicks.
Playing the Knicks. And you can't really judge them. They're the 4 seed and whatever. Hey, they started 24-20.
Right.
To your point, they hadn't made the Harden trade yet, right?
Right.
That's a big change.
No
they started
question.
24-20, but they finished 28-10.
Right.
So they are. You can look at their record, but they're clearly punching above that right now.
Well, I don't think they are. I think that's who they are.
Okay, you're right. That's probably a better way of saying it. They are more the 28-10 team than they are the 24-20 team.
Yes. And I can remember I was covering a game on the road. It must have been in April after the basketball season. And I would substitute for Steve Loom sometimes, give him a break, get him ready for the long playoff run. He was a beat writer for the Salt Lake Tribune. And I can remember sitting in a locker room talking to Hornacek. And he said, okay, man, we're coming down to the end. Now we've got to get serious. We've got to approach these games as if they're playoff preparation games. And that's what I see the Cavs doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're very capable. I wouldn't bet either one. But I think they're just as capable of winning this series as the Knicks are.
Strus played 12 games, and Harden played 26. So that gives you a little feel in that 28-10 finish there. I do think the question with them is, and maybe I've just overvalued them, and you're right, we're not watching them every night. But I just think that they have two really good big guys in Allen and Mobley, and they don't always impact the game. Sometimes it feels like they just kind of disappear into the game. I don't want to use the word coasting and say they're not playing hard. And maybe that is it. I'm just not watching close enough. But I don't know what it is. But
they're not featured.
They don't. Right. But they can impact their game without the ball. How you defend and how you rebound. Yeah. And then even if you're not featured, as a big guy, go get the ball and get yourself some buckets.
Mobley hit a big 3 the other night.
They do have games where they really go.
Remember him playing for SC?
It's hard to match up with multiple bigs. That's a tricky thing to do. So if those guys have good series, I know the spotlight's going to be on Harden and it's going to be on Mitchell for sure. But I always wonder about their bigs. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up next, spring football tour, West Virginia Mountaineers. What's Rich Rod doing? That's next. Stay with us.